for that brand.
I brought us live in the middle of that because
Oh, cool.
That's
I was
cool.
flipping through my
That's
notes. Right.
I'm just here. On my own.
One day I'm going to be the guy that makes notes. It's not today. It's certainly not today. But it will happen.
I have never been so disappointed in myself. I'm never as disappointed in myself as when I'm looking back at the notes I took for TKC. Because they all say things like, they all will say things like, and then JD. Or like, suddenly
Seymour.
Fireworks. The end. That's it. That's what they'll say. And I'm like, motherfucker.
Like, what were you thinking? Oh, I've done that so many times.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, Della, because that is 110% me. Was I digging through messages with like several of you for today's session because I never bothered to write it down anywhere else? Maybe. Did that mean that I made a realization about something that I should have realized like back when I made my notes originally? Maybe.
Probably.
But it's fine. It's normal. I always write very clear notes.
Yes, I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly. And you've never done anything wrong in your fucking life.
I don't know if you've ever seen Geodis's game binders, but they are insane. Motherfucker takes notes like it's his actual job, like he's at his actual profession. Like he has binders for his games. And you know what he does with them afterwards? I think he just like actually burns them. It is offensive, especially when I'm trying to write a novelization of the last game he ran for us, and he's just like, I'm just like, give me your notes, and he's like, well, I don't know where they are.
All the notes, just like, oh no.
Meticulous note planning, and then it's done, and it's
gone forever.
Out of his mind. Sure.
How?
You know, fuck it, we ball, as they say.
We ball.
We ball.
You know?
Nope. Ooh, almost did it. I almost did it, JD. We're not putting no babies in no baskets.
Why? Yeah, why?
What?
we were.
This is a
class. OBS decided it hates us, so we're going to see if it reconnects.
Oh, yeah. I see. The broadcast I was watching just ended.
Oh, fun.
Yay. I think we're back.
Okay. Cool.
We're back. This is going to be a fun VOD to edit. Yay. I was like right on top of doing my introduction, and you've said it. And you've said it, and I had just gotten it out of my head. I had just gone through, I don't know, maybe a whole stream where nobody said those words.
I do apologize. That's on me. That I did that, and I recognize it. It gets in there. You can't help it. It's an earworm for like brain rot. I don't know.
Corey is a monster and must be defeated.
Confirmed. Yes. Yes.
Anyways, well, we are back with the hopes that OBS, and I'm knocking on wood as I say this, decides to behave itself for a bit. Hi, we are live from the apocalypse, and this is Redacted. We over at Live from the Apocalypse, I don't remember words. That is where I'm at today. This is only my second time GMing this week. I'm going to do it 3 times. So just imagine what state I'm going to be in when we hit tomorrow. Anyways, over at Live from the Apocalypse, we are a not-for-profit TTRPG studio that raises money for progressive causes and aid organizations. We are currently fundraising for Rainbow Railroad, the Canadian branch, and we are getting incredibly close to our goal. We ask that instead of subscribing or giving us bits or any of that other made-up money that goes on over on Twitch that mostly goes to Father Bezos, instead you donate directly to Rainbow Railroad. And you can do that at any point by clicking the donate button, which you will find where the subscribe button usually is. Or if you are on mobile, you can click !donate and the link will come up. At that point, the McElroy brothers will yell specifically at me. So if I am doing a monologue, that is a great time to do it because I will completely lose my place. I will not have notes as we established, and I will have to figure out what I was saying right before this happened. I may scream into the mic. The cast may scream into their mics. Who knows? It may be chaos. It may be that I am the only one who notices because everyone is so deep into their character work and I am the only one being screamed at. You can, as always, find the subscribe button. We are not allowed to remove it, though we have tried. However, please know that if you choose to subscribe, and we would prefer again that you donate to Rainbow Railroad, but if you've got an Amazon Prime sub to throw our way, you are free to do that. Just be forewarned, for every month you are subscribed, beloved Dimension 20 Dungeon Master Brennan Lee Mulligan will kill one dog. And it has been a rough month for dogs. I think over Extra Life Weekend, there were like 100. So, don't add to that number. You don't have to. You can just donate to Rainbow Railroad and help them help queer, and especially in this day and age, trans people get to safer locations, whether that is leaving a home environment, changing states, or even leaving a country. We are very much hoping to fulfill our goal for Rainbow Railroad by the end of the year, maybe even sooner. So anything you can do to help us, we appreciate. And I think, potentially, that is all the housekeeping stuff that I have, which means it's going to be an interesting night. So, cast, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourselves, introduce your characters, introduce your archetypes, and then we're going to see which character you actually start off with. Starting with Steph.
Okay, very ominous. Thank you. Hi, I'm Steph. Tonight I will be playing Kai. He is the Martyr playbook. Possibly also seeing our wet rat Rebecca having a nervous breakdown last we saw her, as she deserves. And I guess we'll see who else might pop out or not. Should I say, or... Well,
That's
we'll
up
leave that
to
as a
you.
surprise.
Or leave it
I'll
as a
just say the
surprise.
ones who've shown up so far.
I think that's fair. Q.
Hi, I'm Q. I am playing one of three, or maybe more. I guess. Well, I guess we'll see. Weston, who is the so he's the villain playbook, but like, is he really the villain? I don't think so. There's Raven, who is the trickster, confirmed, and then there's Russell, who is he's just a little guy. And I don't normally get to play the little guy, or I normally don't play the little guy. So this is going to be fun or horrifying. We've made choices.
And we love those choices for you. And last but not least, Della.
You're muted.
No, Della, you are muted.
I was muted. Hi, I'm Della. I am no longer muted. I will be playing Rachel Blauhair, who is the original owner of this body. She is the parent playbook. I'll also be playing Siobhan Thompson. Is that my last name? Siobhan Thompson? Orion. Siobhan Orion.
Should not be Thompson. That's a real person.
Is that the real person? Oh, shit. Who is that? Oh, shit, that's the Dimension 20 girl. Oh, yeah, she don't talk like this. No.
No, certainly
she
not.
doesn't. No. All right. Well, there you go. I do actually watch that show. I should remember that name, but I didn't.
You said
Siobhan,
it, and I was like, that sounds so familiar. That's
so
probably
weird.
right.
Probably a real person, but it could be my character name. No.
No.
So yeah, that's Siobhan. Siobhan Orion is the Martyr playbook. And last but not least, I have the villain playbook, who is Redacted.
Love that.
I
Redacted and redacted.
hate that.
It's fine.
We're not letting them have a name.
No, for sure.
They
For
should not be
sure.
named.
No.
Mm-mm.
That is 110% valid.
Correct.
And so, I am JD. I am the storyteller for this game. As a reminder, if this is the first time you ever catching this, which hopefully it isn't, because you're going to be super confused with this episode if that is the case, this is a psychological horror game. It deals with a lot of dark and disturbing content, and that includes, but is not limited to, cults, burning, medical abuse and neglect, murder and serial killing, stalking, manipulation, gaslighting, and drowning. I can tell you that a number of those topics are going to come up tonight, as is children being in danger. As you said, we do have a little guy with us. And so, if at any point any of that is too much or crosses any lines for you, please don't hesitate to step away. We have many other shows on LFTA that do not deal with subject matter quite like this. So we invite you to check those out. But if you are ready to dive into where we are heading, I think it's time to do just that. And so, I'm going to say two things that I, amazingly, have already said in some combination once this week. I do not believe I will say it for a third time tomorrow, but we start in a different place than usual. Because where we start today does not even have a script. We will be diving straight into the action. Because when we were last with our, I was going to say 4 characters, and I didn't hesitate because we are missing one of our number tonight, though that is true. Hesitated because, as you have all listed off, there are more than 4 among you. But the 3 of you that had been spending some time over at the local historical museum, a place that you had been led to based on the address printed on the postcards you all received, and you found some things there. Not necessarily what you were expecting, as Weston repeatedly reminded us about all of the buildings. They are not real buildings. They do not have what a well-staffed or stocked or robust building would have, be it the mayor's office or be it the historical society. But fine things there you did, some of which came along with you as you returned to the hotel that you had, for the most part, except for Sophie, been staying at for your one night. Yes, as a reminder, we have been here for less than 24 hours. 10 episodes in, and it has not even been a full day. And the 3 of you had walked in. Rachel taking care to offer support and comfort to Russell. Kai finally back in control of his own body. And you had seen a familiar figure, one who had been missing for some time. after a very, very, very strange interaction with Weston. And yet she was sitting there in the lobby of the hotel as though she had been waiting for you, as though she knew what to expect. And everything about the Sophie that you had previously known for the limited time that you had known her had changed. Her movements were precise, methodical, direct. And her eyes were unnervingly keen as she looked at each one of you in turn. And she stood up, walked across the lobby to meet you. Russell, you made sure that Rachel was between you and her. And that made a lot of sense because you recognized the name. Because how could you not? This was the doctor that you saw each and every day. But
Bad
for the
doctor.
other, exactly. And Rachel, you recognized the threat. And Sophie just smiled at you and extended her hand and said, "It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Dr. Andrew Thurston." And that is where the second thing that I've said for a second time this week comes into play. Because in that moment, as Sophie, who is not Sophie, stretches out their hand, reality shatters around the four of you. And it shatters around you like a mirror. You see fragments of glass. You feel them pass by, not close enough to cut. And you see images. They move too quickly for you to fully register, but they are a blur of water and smoke and fire and blood. And there are moments where you think, I haven't experienced this, or I wasn't the one who experienced this, or I haven't experienced this yet. And it is all a confusing jumble of light and sound and flashes until it is a jumble of light and sound and flashes. And Kai, you
Mm-hmm.
you find yourself in the basement of a building. It's not an alarming place to find yourself in because there is a strobe light going, there's music playing, you can see the tables filled with food. You know at least one of those plates. You probably don't want to eat all of those brownies because that would be a poor life decision. And the atmosphere is raucous, it is upbeat. And how could it not be? Because you just had a successful opening night that could not have gone better. I'm curious, Kai. What play do you think it was that you were working on?
Ah, fuck. Put me on the spot like that with theater stuff. I know too many theater plays. I want to say that it was a production of
The suspense is killing me.
It's killing me too, because I'm the theater major. I think it was
There's no wrong answer, Steph. Last time I was
I
asked to
know, I'm
choose a play,
panicking.
I chose Hamlet, and we made it a comedy.
I think it was an adaptation of Macbeth with the setting in the 1920s. So it was very much sort of like gangs of New York, prohibition, speakeasies type setting.
Interesting. And I'm curious, your roommate, Jessa, is she here as a guest, or was she a part of the production?
She's probably here as a guest. Or she probably, if she had the time, would have helped with the set stuff, so crew. Since she's kind of focused on architecture and such.
And so that's what you remember, Kai. You remember working on set design with Jessa, or more, her working on set design and construction while you worked on costumes. Which is why it's strange as you see her from across the room that people are coming up and congratulating her and saying, "You were fucking incredible tonight. I didn't know you could do that. I mean, I watched you during the rehearsals, but I've never seen anyone do any of those monologues like that." And you're processing that at the same time that other people start to come up to you and saying the same thing. And you are particularly thrown where one of them says, "Kai, I mean, you've been behind the scenes most of your time here, but when you did the whole out damn spot monologue, I had chills. I could feel that blood, the blood on your hands."
Jack of all trades, you know what they say.
This was such an inspired choice. I mean, changing up the gender of the casting, having you as Lady Macbeth. I mean, not Lady Macbeth, but
Lady
fucking
Macbeth,
incredible.
it's fine. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thanks. But I killed it, so to say.
I don't know if you should joke like that in the basement of the theater, but you know.
I didn't say the name. We're good. We're good.
And one of your friends comes over, I think it's Opal, and kind of nudges you with their shoulder and says, that chemistry with you and Jessa. Something going on there, Kai?
No. What the fuck? She's my best friend. We just have
Okay.
natural chemistry.
Okay, if you say so. If you
I
say
say
so.
so. She is single if you were interested.
Oh, I don't. No, no, nothing like that for me. But
Alright, fair, fair. Nah, she's the best.
you two, I don't know. There was some real magic there tonight.
I guess when you're acting off of someone you've known like most of your life, it just kind of comes naturally.
I guess it would. And Opal moves away. And
What is going on?
for a moment, you're left alone, Kai. You do not have people coming up and offering their congratulations. You can kind of take a breath. But you feel the hair rising on the back of your neck, which maybe isn't a surprise. It's a full room. But there is someone watching you.
Kai is going to just kind of do a quick like scope of the room of like the fuck is going on, and just kind of automatically just moves in Jessa's direction.
You feel the eyes follow as you walk towards her. And she is still surrounded by a few admirers talking about how her tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow sent chills up their spine. And it's strange because weren't those almost the same exact words said to you? It's like each person is reciting a script and they're changing a word here and there.
I don't like that.
And there is a moment just before you reach Jessa. I think you go to reach out to touch her, to get her attention, because she is otherwise occupied. And as you look at your hand, it's red. But of course it is, because the lights above you just changed, and it's just the light reflecting off, just for a moment.
Just gotta find my way out like I always do, but usually I'm asleep first, so fuck this shit. I don't see Rachel or Weston or Sophie anywhere.
You do not. Nope.
Like, even though he knows this is not real, he's still, just because Jessa, even if it's an approximation of her, he reaches out and is just like, hey.
You reach out, you try to get her attention. She is cold. The sleeves of her shirt are soaked with water. And in an instant, reality blinks.
Oh, fuck off.
And you are standing in the middle of a pool of darkness, except for the spotlight that is shining down directly on you.
Oh, hi.
Would you like to make a roll?
I want to read the fucking room, because where the fuck? Okay, that is
That is going to be with awareness.
awareness. What is my awareness? That's fine. That's a 1. Okay. Ooh, that's a 10. Hey. Okay, so I can ask 2 questions.
Yep.
So I want to ask, what is happening beneath the surface, and what wants to be found here?
Kai, as you were rightly saying, you have been experiencing things like this for a long time. You know what it's like to be awake and aware within a dream. But this isn't a dream.
Cool.
This is something different. And you think back, you try to make sense of those last few moments before everything broke apart around you. And you realize, and you hadn't realized before, that right as everything shattered, Russell had screamed.
Okay.
And so all you can think is that Russell was clearly terrified, and something in that terror has transported you, at least momentarily, somewhere else.
Okay. 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 This is bad. This is really bad.
As for what wants to be found here,
Okay.
that becomes pretty evident because you kind of put your hand up, like shielding your eyes a bit from the spotlight. You want to see, is anyone around, maybe in the projector booth? And there's a moment, just a moment, where 2 rounded panes of glass catch the reflection of something. You're not sure what, because no light is reflecting back there. But there is someone up there, and they are watching you. You are under observation.
I mean, fuck that. And Kai is just kind of looking around, just trying to figure out like options. Don't really limit observed, so he is just going to step into the darkness. Just on his right, he's just gonna turn and vanish into it so that he's not being observed by whatever the fuck that is.
You feel those eyes fall off of you, at least for the moment. We're going to head over Rachel.
Yeah.
Because Rachel, you hear this cacophony of noise and sound and sensory overload, and you're very good at filtering that out. You have a lot of experience. And there's a moment for you where you hear several gunshots echoing, looping almost endlessly. And then you hear the sounds of birds chirping. And you are back in your fire watchtower, laying in bed,
Go to check my gun, see if anything is if it's still loaded, if there's anything left in it. I did something foolish in my sleep.
your gun. I was going to say it's exactly as you left it, but how did you leave your gun?
It's sort of the it's sort of like tucked into the bed frame, so right where the mattress and the bed frame come together, tucked in there, so it's not immediately visible upon entering the room, but it's in easy reach uh, when she's asleep at night. Safety's on, but safeties are not hard to take off.
Full clip inside of it?
Oh yeah, one in the chamber.
Your gun has been fired once.
I'm gonna look around for the brass.
And you're looking. You don't see it.
Son of a bitch. She'll get dressed, holster it, put it on, and you know, sort of continue to kind of look sort of throughout her day with sort of this awareness of like, if I find it, great, but if it's not in this room and it fell out of this tower, it's in the grass, it's in a bush. Um, you know, I don't hear any screaming. Um, though, why don't I real quick read the room here?
I'd love that for you.
Because I think that there's I have questions. Sorry, my child removed all of my dice from this room. So I have to use no, I don't need to roll 2d7 actually. I need to roll 2d6. Thank you. However, Google. There we go. Okay, so that is a 9.
Okay. So that is one question.
Okay. So I do want to ask, um, oh gosh, all right, where's the redacted book? Where's the synchronicity book? Here it is. There we go. Getting
And you
my.
can, as always, ask me a more direct question as well, or something not on this list.
So what I really want to know is, are there any like campers or registered, like we're not in a, are we in a hunting season? Is it possible? Is it more likely that someone would have potentially been injured? What's the risk that I've shot somebody? So basically, what is the most dangerous to the vulnerable of us, but specifically, who is vulnerable to me? How bad can I have fucked up?
And so you look at the calendar and you also look at the current registration of people who are camping in this area, because of course you do have a record of that and their locations around the fire tower you are in. There are 5 or 6 people who are there. And so as you're thinking about it, there's no names that jump out to you. This would have been someone who would have been a target or anything like that. There seems like the possibility that you could have hurt someone, though why would you? Is the question that you would come to. There are enough people around where someone could have been fired on, but you can't think of any reason you would have fired on anyone here.
I think my thinking on this is, if she's not remembering having shot that bullet, do I remember having fired the gun recently?
You do not.
I think her concern is that she had a nightmare, fired it in her sleep just out of the thing. Um, and so basically, are there people, um sorry, I'm trying to find the not the effective range, but the lethal range of a 9 millimeter, and I'm not getting anything because it's going to depend on where it hits somebody and what it goes through first. But I guess really she's like, is there anybody within like a uh, call it like a half kilometer around her station?
There is not. The
Okay,
only way you could have hurt someone would have been if you had fully left the tower.
okay, that's mostly what she's concerned with here. I guess the next other question I have, because I can ask the vulnerable question, um, for free. Though, no, that can be my question, because
If you have another question, I'm happy to give you the answer to it.
what's happening beneath the surface?
And I think that question makes a lot of sense, Rachel, because you smell smoke in the distance. And that isn't uncommon at this time of year, but this feels wrong. This brings up not quite a prickling or an itching on your skin. It's not painful, but it might not be painful if there wasn't the ability to feel pain. And you look down at your arms, and just for an instant, there is essentially no skin. The spots where there are, it is black and flaking. And it almost looks like it's glowing beneath the surface. Like you have that fire still smoldering within you.
Fuck. The fuck was in that tea? The fuck was in that tea? Uh, and is she? I think she's gonna just start try to shake it off and just start doing her job.
And there's a moment, Rachel, where as you're shaking it off, as you look down and your skin, or lack thereof, is back now to normal. Nothing wrong, nothing marred. You remember that you had a job to do. You had someone to protect. Russell was counting on you. Where is he?
Oh, I've got to get back. She's gonna look around, and I think what she's going to kind of oh I get it. This isn't now. This isn't here. How do I get back? How do I get back to Slate Thorn? How do I get back to Russell? And I think she's going to just kind of close her eyes and see if she can like will her way back there.
I love that. I'm going to have you roll with shadow.
Okie dokie. Boop. Whew, okay. Well, it's not a failure. That's always nice. Yeah, so it's a 7. It's a 7.
Okay. And so, Rachel, you are envisioning the hotel. You are envisioning that lobby that you were standing in. You're thinking, if this is somewhere else. I know where I'm trying to get back to. I can make that jump. And you feel you feel yourself move. You know instantly that something has changed. The smell of smoke gets stronger. And when you open your eyes, you are still in the watchtower, but the sky is red, at least the parts of it that you can see through the smoke that is swirling around and around and around. And you hear singing in the distance, maybe chanting. But there, at least for this moment, is no Russell and no hotel.
Son of a bitchin' memory bullshit. I ain't got time for this motherfucking shit. She's gonna pick up the phone to report in a fire, and do that because she is conscientious. And if that goes without a hitch, she's going to climb down out of this goddamn fire stand, and I think probably head for the playground. She's
I
gonna
like
head
that.
sort of towards where like the main visitor center and like the playground and stuff are, to try and see if Russell's maybe down there, or
I
she
like
can
that a
find
lot.
something. Yeah.
And so, Rachel, we are going to backtrack a bit because you make that call. And you are given a response. What is the first thing you say as you make this report?
So here's where I know nothing about fire reporting. Della Collins knows nothing about it. So I think it's going to be the whatever the standard would be to shit's burning. We should probably do an like evacuate, uh, thing, sort of depending on how dangerous this seems while I'm here.
This seems, very dangerous. And it starts off very normal. You are asked to identify yourself, describe the location of the fire, describe what type of smoke you're seeing,
Mhm.
clarify that, yes, this is an emergency situation. We need to evacuate the surrounding area, all of that. And then the voice says, but this isn't the first fire that you've experienced, Miss Blowhair, is it?
To whom am I speaking right now?
Answering a question with a question.
Is the voice familiar?
It is. The cadence and rhythm are familiar, but when you last heard it, it was coming out of Sophie's mouth.
Well, hey there, Andrew. How you doing?
It would seem a sight better than you.
No, I'm right in my element.
What element would that be?
Fire. How about you, buddy?
Oh, I am right in my element as well.
Right. Let me guess. The psyche.
I was just going to say observing.
Oh, I got all poetical on you.
You did. I didn't know you had it in you.
Full of surprises. Now listen. I'm gonna give you a couple of choices. First is an opportunity to tell me how to get the fuck out of this shit that you've apparently done
Hmm.
or
Well,
caused.
paused perhaps, but I am just a mere observer.
Mm. You like to watch.
I do. You learn so much about people that way.
You ever take action? You ever get your hands a little dirty?
I am not a painter, Miss Blowhair, though I do appreciate the beauty of the result.
What happened to you? What burned you that you had to sit on the sideline and watch?
You
Or are you
can.
just a coward? And I'm absolutely using the disappointed parent move.
I love it. Do it. Yes. Incredible. Impeccable. Those vibes are immaculate.
Okay. Oh, this is beautiful. Whew, okay. Uh, Unfortunately, that is a 6. But regardless of whether I succeed, they take a point of psychic damage from the guilt that they feel or from resisting the feelings of guilt.
Incredible. Amazing. My hope for tonight was to get to see some of these moves in action. And so he is quiet for a moment and then says, I have never been a coward.
Never. Why are you scaring little boys?
children fear what they do not understand.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And a
Mm-hmm.
hospital is a frightening place.
Mm-hmm.
But his fear is not my fault.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He was meddling with things that he did not understand.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So if anyone's to blame for what happened, it's certainly not me.
Well, be that as it may. What happened to that poor little kiddo, huh? What happened to your whole hospital? You seemed like you had a pretty sweet gig up there, Dr. Drew.
I believe you already know the answer to that question.
I know the little boy died of tuberculosis. I know that the hospital burnt down, but I would love to know your opinion on the matter. I'm talking to you now, aren't I?
I would like you to roll with sociability.
Uh, 8.
Okay. Okay. Right. And so, what I think happens there, Rachel, is you say that you issue a challenge to this man, and he loses even more of his composure than he already has. I can't believe that it's you, of all people, who asks me what happened when you were the one who burned it down.
Some things deserve to burn, and I think you know that.
Yes, well, let's hope you're able to get out of here before you're caught in the flames. And he hangs up.
I'm gonna have to shoot Sophie. That's a damn shame. Well, nope, won't burn her to death. Uh, and she's going to, you know, try not to do that.
Incredible. So Della, I am going to be sending you something over break. Won't completely come into play now, but I believe you will be the first person to have 4 for 4.
You don't have to give me the next two, because I don't actually have the either, because I mostly did that for the drama. If you want to, I will accept, but I think it would probably be better to just cinematically ruin my day with it instead.
I think that is fair. I think we'll go into what it means, but you will be taking the dragon.
Sick. Sick.
And
It's
with
happening.
that, we're
Oh my god, it's
gonna
It's happening.
we're gonna leave Rachel and others alone there for a moment, and we're going to pop over to you, Weston, because you have perhaps the most jarring experience, because you are standing in the hotel lobby. You see Dr. Thurston, and you see him. That is not Sophie. He is absolutely superimposed on her. And you do not want him anywhere near you. And so you hide and you scream, because that's how you get the attention of the adults around you who can stop bad things from happening. And then you are caught among the fragments, but unlike Rachel and Kai, you are not static. You feel yourself growing. You are stepping back into a form that feels much more comfortable, much more capable, much more familiar. And as the sound reduces and your vision clears, you see yourself standing in the kitchen of your house, holding a meat tenderizer in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
You're making dinner.
Good. It's one of the compromises that we made to keep a happy home. I'm going to sort of hit the chicken, the tenderizer, again and again and again. It's rhythmic, it's robotic, it is fun, satisfying. I might have been going a bit too loud. And I realize that when I hear an echo of one of the hits, I stop, set the tenderizer down, take the cloth from my waistband, clean off my glasses. That was a weapon. clean off the glasses, and I will continue with the rest of dinner.
When you are in the kitchen, Weston, is the agreement that you work in there alone, or does Cameron work in there alongside you, working on
When
another part of the meal?
When it's my night, I'm in there by myself. There are nights where we work together, but this is not one of those. Though I will at some point call him in for wine. He's better at picking that out than I am. Yeah. We all have our uses.
Weston, how long are you, or how far are you into the adoption process?
We've had our first interview. I am slightly annoyed that we have to have a second. I know we won them over. Obviously, we did. But they have to adhere to protocol, especially when the couple is unconventional. However, adversity looks good on a resume. So, it's a minor stress when it lends to the bigger picture in the end.
What does your home look like, Weston?
It is sleek, well appointed. It's not gaudy. Definitely neutrals, blues with the occasional greenery to give the place some life. It looks lived in, it does not look loved in. It looks like we could put it out on open house and it would be ready at any moment.
Weston, as you start to look around and take in the rest of the room you're standing in, as you said, color is specific, and yet there is a coldness. And that coldness is heightened by the fact that all of the walls, all of the tile, the cupboards, everything you can see around you is white.
No, that doesn't make sense. Yeah. White's dirty too easily. Also, it's boring. The countertops were dark gray. Honey, have you Been remodeling while I wasn't looking.
And you hear footsteps, and Cameron comes in and looks around, trying to gauge what you might be talking about, and then just directly asks, What do you mean, Weston?"
How long has all of this been just white?
"Since the day we bought it, you insisted."
Okay. Funny. So is this like peel off paint, or you're serious?
I have no. Is everything okay, Weston?
Cameron, why in the fuck would I ask for just white?
I don't know. I mean, you have a vision. You always have. And we follow that
Yeah,
vision.
right. And all white, do you think was uh, sure. It's fine. You pick the wine. We're having chicken and risotto
Do
today.
you want me to go and get paint and fix this?
I want you to pick the wine. You,
Okay,
my
okay.
my husband won't do paint. Listen, just I don't want to fight tonight. We're not gonna fight tonight. Pick a wine, and we'll have dinner.
And he nods and heads to the basement door to go down and pick a bottle of wine. Was the wine always in the basement?
Shouldn't be. Huh. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, question, because I realize I'm in this moment. Do I remember me, aka Russell, screaming and thirsting?
Roll with shadow.
Fantastic. That's a 10.
You absolutely remember what happened. And you remember that confusion, those images that you saw, the fact that just a few moments before you were with 3 other people.
Mm-hmm.
And Cameron was very, very far from there.
Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Um. So I think he's gonna take the meat tenderizer, and Weston is gonna go downstairs.
How is Weston heading downstairs? Is he careful and methodical? Is he
Of
a man
course.
on a mission?
No, no, no. I don't know what I'm about to get into, so I don't want them to hear or see me coming.
That is absolutely fair. And so, Weston, you walk down the stairs, and the stairs in the basement are wrong. They are wooden and rickety. There are spider webs, cobwebs around you. There is no light on that you can see.
Hmm. Creepy stairs leading down to a nightmare abyss. Of course it is. How the fuck did I get stuck in this Freddy Krueger ass shit? He's going to take the steps very carefully.
And you walk. You walk for longer than you should be walking, but as you reach the bottom, there's suddenly light, and you walk out and you recognize the boardroom that you're standing in. You're at the office.
Okay, question. Am I dressed for boardroom? Do I have the meat tenderizer?
You are now dressed for work, and you do still have the meat tenderizer.
Cool beans. That is going to go inside pocket. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And as you're standing in the boardroom, Weston, you see the lights of the city spread out beneath you. Some at the same height, though. This is a tall building, and you are on one of the highest floors.
Of course.
And you can't help but look at the building that is directly across from you, because some of the lights are flickering, and some of the lights are red, as though the emergency ones have come on, maybe. And there is a figure standing in one of them. And he just reaches up and waves you. And that, I think, is where we shall take our break for tonight.
How dare you? But how dare you, though, is the thing.
How dare you?
Why
See,
did you break it so bad?
So I have to just say stuff. I saw you say hi, friend, and I definitely thought you were referencing Weston's friend, waving at him rather than replying to JT.
I didn't see JT's messages.
No.
Hi, doctor. Said no one to this man.
No.
Nah.
And I think on that note,
This right here.
we'll be right
This
back.
right here. Mm-hmm.
You can catch
Mhm.
that tender.
All right, we are back. We have returned to the horrors. Things are getting really interesting.
Yeah, the horrors are persisting, as are we.
They sure do be happening.
The horrors
I-
persist, and I'm about to happen to them. Holy shit, this playbook you just sent me.
Oh, dragon.
It's dragon.
Listen, we all
So
knew that Della
agile.
had to play the dragon.
Yes, correct.
Correct.
It's illegal for me to not play the dragon playbook in any given game.
Correct.
Did I literally think of you when I created it? Possibly.
Aww.
Hell yeah.
I appreciate you.
And so with that, we've had some interesting experiences here tonight. Kai, you were at a cast party
Mm-hmm.
for a show that you don't remember really being a part of, in a role that you certainly don't remember having been cast in.
I know everything around me is lies. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, your friends could not be more fake. They are literally NPCs.
How hard?
And then Rachel, you found yourself back on Firewatch duty with a gun that had recently been fired, and then a phone call with a person who you put in their place.
You know what? It turns out I'm fucking good at my job.
And Weston. What can we say about Weston? Weston may have been the horror in what he experienced.
No. No, he was fine.
He was fine. That
Yeah,
was a
literally, what are you
normal
talking
one.
about?
Normal.
Yeah, absolutely normal.
Good, healthy relationship.
Mm-hmm. Looks perfect.
See, that's why Sophie's not normal, because Weston is.
That's
Thank you.
He
Thank you.
already came for that top spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen,
That's why.
I knew we were gonna get there. I knew we were gonna get there. I didn't want, Sophie to be too upset about it.
I'm sure they'll be fine about it.
I doubt it.
I am looking forward to that next episode when Weston and Sophie compete for who is the most normal.
Yeah.
Sure, it'll be a normal one. Because they're the most normal. Someone's the most normal.
Right.
So, we are going to return to each of you in time, but we are going to start with you, Kai.
Just running through the dark.
Are you running?
Walking with purpose.
You feel the curtains move around you. But it continues. It's almost that moment that most theater people have had where you don't quite manage to find the exit.
Yep.
Except you have. It's just the curtains continue to be pushed through. It's curtain after curtain after curtain. And you smell salt.
Kai is trying not to panic because he knows panicking right now is not going to accomplish anything because he's in a mess of curtains. And he doesn't want to go back, but salt might mean openness, so he is going to keep moving in the direction of that scent. And it's not burning, so that has to count for something.
Do you want to be out of the curtains, Kai?
Yeah, I don't like being contained like this. Get me out of the fucking curtains. I'll roll with shadow if you want.
Do you want to see what's on the other side?
Not really. I just want to be out of the curtains.
The curtains become less and less substantial, more and more like fog around you. It's a heavy fog. It feels weighted. And you see flashing light. Like what a headlight looks like when it goes underwater and the electricity in the car starts to fail.
Kai just kind of pauses and just studies the lights. And he's gonna try to like angle himself, not going directly at them, but like parallel, so we can keep them in his vision, but not really wanting to get close to that.
Do you know Morse code?
Does he know Morse code? Probably like nothing complex. He knows SOS.
You think it might be for a moment just by virtue of the fact that it's in a pattern. But it's not SOS, and you don't even know if this is true because dream logic,
Mm-hmm.
but you could swear the pattern is saying, help me, over and over and over again.
He's going to very cautiously approach.
And you step forward, and the fog parts, and the light is suddenly colored and diffuse, as if coming through stained glass windows, but stained glass windows that are underwater.
Mm. Hate that.
And you can taste the salt in the air. But that isn't what captures your attention. It is what those red and purple and blue and yellow shades fall on in the center of the room. As there is girl after girl after girl laid out in front of you. Thank you for the follow.
Thank you. Welcome to the horrors. But they're the girls from the mural.
They are. That familiar dark hair.
Oh, Rebecca, you fucking bitch. Oh, Rebecca. I'm gonna roll to remain calm.
I would love that for you.
Mm-hmm. Under stress, it's a flat roll.
Yep.
Oh no, mine is psychic. No, this was a mistake. How much is a
This
lot?
was a mistake, but
This was absolute. There's no way I can succeed this roll. I have 5 psychic damage. Let's see for shits and giggles. No, wait. No, that's a 9, so that's 4. I mean, I guess I could have if I got a 12.
You could have if you got.
I had one way of succeeding this roll.
I would.
Because I don't add anything to it, right?
Nope.
Awesome. Oh, I take more psychic damage, right?
Yep.
Yeah, fuck me.
Yep. Don't worry about it. It is fine, and I think it makes complete sense because you make that comment to Rebecca, and Rebecca is already so upset. I mean, the things you said to her before
were true.
Hurt her so badly.
Truth hurts. Truth hurts.
And she sees these girls and hears your reaction to this. And I mean, how could you say that to her? She was trying to help them. She was trying to save them. She was doing what needed to be done for all of them.
You took people who were minding their own business and what you yanked them out of their fucking lives. Like, you made a pile of flesh and bone and grief because you couldn't handle your own grief. And I don't know what you were dealing with, because I don't want to know, because I don't fucking like you. Okay, Rebecca? I don't like you because you can't own up to your shit and you just keep making excuses. You couldn't handle your shit? All right, not everyone can. You don't make it someone else's problem, especially by fucking killing them.
And you're not sure, Kai, if it is Rebecca or it is someone else. Maybe Jessa. You don't know because the voice sounds so familiar, but you can't pinpoint who it is, as they say. You're one to talk, Kai. And the glass of the stained glass windows explodes, and a car comes crashing into the underground chapel.
I'm tucking out the fucking way. What the?
Kai, would you like to describe what the car looks like?
Uh-huh. It is gray, but not like a dull gray. It's very sleek silver gray BMW. It would have been nice if it wasn't covered in scratches and broken glass.
Which window did you escape out of?
Back left window.
And remind me, where was Jessa?
Front seat.
And you got her out, but there's still someone in there.
Yep.
The body is waterlogged and bloated.
Am I seeing this from where I am in the pews? Like, is the front car door open? Okay.
The body is partway through the front windshield. It was thrown
Delightful.
there as the car crashed into the altar. What is Kai thinking as he sees that figure?
I didn't kill him. The car skidded off the road. Landed in the water. I didn't kill him. I didn't help him, though. Sometimes life twists in such a way that you don't have to do anything to get what you want. You just step back and let it happen.
Do you realize, Kai, that you've said all of that out loud when a voice responds? and says, "Is it not still murder if you allowed it to happen?"
It was an accident. And I had to save Jessa. So what the fuck even are you, you weird, creepy bitch?
I mean, Kai, you said it yourself. Sometimes you just have to choose not to act to get what you want, and isn't what you wanted him dead?
I wanted him gone.
You got your wish.
What's your wish, weirdo? What kind of game you're playing?
Oh, I'm just biding my time, but I am curious.
Mm-hmm.
Does Jessa know the choice you made? Or does she think that the death of her father was a tragic accident?
I would like to read the room.
I would love that for you.
As I want to know where this little freak is. That is with awareness.
Yep.
Cool, good, because that was a 6, but I got a 7 with my awareness. I am 1 point away from the full 7 of psychic damage.
Love
Something
that for you.
fun happens then, right? Guys just
Something
taking
fun does
L's.
happen. It is a good time. You
Mm.
get a new friend at that point.
Oh boy.
And so, Kai, you're trying to figure out where Dr. Thurston is.
Yeah, so
You're
what's being hidden here?
looking around the room, and I mean there's a lot of bodies. There's
Yeah.
all of the ones laid out. There's the one that is through the car windshield. It is distracting as you realize that, well, the window is broken. No water is coming in. The one place you haven't looked is up. And so it takes.
On a ceiling, bitch.
Not a ceiling bitch.
Okay.
No. He is not spread out there in the rafters.
That's oh, that image. And where is the freak?
It more appears that you're in a glass bubble.
Ew.
And he is standing there watching from the outside. But the dimensions are all wrong. It's like you're in a snow globe, and he is the person holding it in the palm of his hand.
I mean, you want a head case, you should give Rebecca a try. I'm not the one you need to be analyzing here.
Oh, I'm sure there will be plenty of time for that.
Have fun in that endless loop you both are gonna get in. Are the bodies tied to the altar? Or are they just spread there?
They're just spread out there. What do you want to do with the bodies, Kai?
I was asking, I'm checking my moves. Do I have to re-roll again for, I took Owl's eyes.
I'll give that to you.
So it's an additional read the room question I can ask even on a miss, but I got a 7, so.
Yep.
What would someone perched above see that no one on the ground can? And if I can, I'm specifically looking for something that will help us present day with our current problem, like a clue, something we're meant to find, something that could shed some light on why is reality breaking around us. Even if it's not an answer, if it's just something that can point or something that can give light to the situation.
Kai, you try to imagine the room from Dr. Thurston's perspective, and you move towards the altar because that is what has been set up. That is what the most amount of time has gone into. And I don't know that you even think before you react because you see a charred rosary. And your hand just goes out to clasp it.
Oh, I don't like that. Well, no, I'll take it.
And the moment you touch it, reality starts to shatter again.
Fuck me.
We're going to come back to you. But before we come back to you, we're going to rejoin Rachel, who was on a mission to head to the playground and not get caught in the potential forest fire.
Hell yeah. Let's plan 1, don't die. Plan 2, don't let anybody else die. Plan 3, we'll worry about it when we get there.
And so, with that, Rachel, you are moving down the stairs. And as you get lower, the smoke dissipates a bit. And you look up, and it is a cloud that stretches out from tree line to tree line. But much like smoke rises in any fire, the air is clearer down here. And you do not see any active flames. And you start moving in the direction of the playground, keeping an eye out for anyone else who may not have evacuated yet. When you find yourself amid something that you are certain, there was never anything like this out at the national park where you kept your fire watch. This is something I believe you have seen flickers of. I know for certain Weston and Raven saw, but you find yourself in the midst of that church in the wild, with the pews made out of trees, symbol of the sacred flame, and a number of buildings that there is a part of you, the part that remembers this isn't reality, but it's sort of reality, but it's also not reality. You can't imagine being hidden because there are a number of outbuildings circling the structure of the church. Ones that you know without a doubt are bunkhouses, showers, an outdoor kitchen, and all of which are painted with symbols of flame and burning and what the flame does to cleanse.
She's gonna draw her gun and sort of start, you know, going through, checking rooms. She just doesn't want somebody to pop out of one of these buildings, surprise her. But I think she's also, you know, if she doesn't see, does she see anybody in the buildings when she goes in to
She doesn't. Nope. The
clear?
buildings appear evacuated. In fact, there are items, belongings, backpacks, things like that that suggest someone was here not too long ago,
Hmm.
but no one.
Yeah, I gotta read the room. What in the what? What?
I love that. I love that for you.
Ooh, sweet. That's an 11.
Absolutely incredible.
Um, so what connections do I see here?
You see several. The first thing that stands out to you is thinking about the paintings on the outside of the buildings. Unlike the symbol of the sacred flame, these are more abstract, one would say psychedelic, and you're immediately 99.9% sure that Raven had some role in creating this. The vibes definitely are there.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I'm actually going to throw this question to Q, which is if Raven had to quickly leave his belongings, what would he choose to leave behind?
Well, he definitely wouldn't leave his drugs, 'cause obviously that's currency. Didn't really have much in the way of personal effects. Not really. Some clothes, some jewelry, accessories that aren't expensive. If he were to leave, I think you'd think that the person still lived there and like he was coming, like they were coming back at any moment. When Raven gets the fuck out, he packs light, only the essentials. And all of those are, that's the old him. He's off to the next reincarnation, the next being. So I'd say a plethora of things, nothing of note or importance, but certainly a lot of it.
And I think those are the vibes of a lot of the belongings that Rachel sees. That there is the sense of people left, but what remains is not personal. And something I would imagine Rachel starts to wonder, given her background, is how much of that is the fact that this was a cult and leaving your individuality behind was a requirement of joining.
I got the leader of this in my head somewhere. I think my next question is what wants to be found? What wants to be found here?
Absolutely. And you make your way through, clearing the buildings, observing what is there and what has been left, and you reach a building that has a lock on the door.
You know I'm picking that lock.
You can definitely pick that lock. I
Mhm.
was going to say, however you wanted to dispatch it, shoot it off, pick it, whatever makes sense.
Why waste a bullet? This is a shitty key lock from the 1970s. I've got a hair clip I got a bobby pin in my bag. I can make this work.
You open the door, and the smell of charred flesh is overwhelming. And you make your way inside, and you see, well, I will ask you, what would the bearer of the sacred flame have chosen as their resting place?
The bearer knew that fires they could make in the wood would never be hot enough to truly reduce a body to ash. I think what they wanted was for their remains to be left out, kind of a sky burial. It would not. So they may have been disassembled, let's say, in preparation for this body. Yes, Steph, their bones are out in the woods somewhere, and if you find them, they are ethically sourced.
Wonderful!
You know,
We love an ethically sourced bone
love an
We
collection.
ethically sourced
do.
bone.
That's
Right
the
in the
LFTA
ocean.
motto and guarantee. Ethically sourced bones.
I've heard this confirmed. Yes.
Rachel, you have seen some horrifying things in your time.
Nope, I'm out of this room. Nope.
How much do you take in before you run?
I don't think she runs. I think she sees the body, and I think it takes her kind of a minute to realize what she's seeing. Because again, it's in bits. It's like um, was sort of taken apart to make it easier for birds and bugs and animals to kind of get at. And I think she walks in, and I think for a second she like sort of like reaches out almost to like pick up one of the things, and then she realizes that this is a human body, and she is out that door, and she pulls it shut behind her, uh, remembering to cover her hand when she touches the door.
And there are many reasons why, as you turn around, Rachel, what you see is disconcerting to say the least. But the fact that you just saw the pieces of this body disassembled contrasted with what you see before you is one of the parts that is the most jarring, because standing on an altar of embers is the bearer of the sacred flame. And their skin is cracked. It is smoldering with fire, much like yours did earlier. Their hair is wreathed in a halo of flame, and their eyes are black as coal.
I don't I don't believe in the devil. I don't believe in this shit. I don't believe in this shit. This is some shit. Gesturing with the gun. This is some shit. I do not believe in this shit. Spooky shit. Get your ass out that fire. I can hear Steph laughing through your microphone, JD.
I know that. That's the hazard of being in the green room.
The curse of my
Amazing.
obnoxious howler monkey laugh.
No, it's amazing. It's amazing.
When you say, I don't believe in the devil, you see the bearer of the sacred flame. Their mouth moves in unison with yours.
Mm-mm. 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 Nope. Nope. No. Mm-mm. She is going to like just like turn her back, walk away. I ain't dealing with this shit. I am too old to deal with this shit. I am not being paid for this. This is above my pay grade and out of my hands. You, bye bye now.
Incredible. As you're walking away from that haunting site, you don't know from where, because as I am sure you attempt to lash out, look around, strike out, even maybe fire your gun at this person, someone with a crisp clinical voice breathes in your ear and says, "How fascinating how long a person can survive without skin."
It's not the skin that's the problem, really. They'll kind of burn out before that. Their minds go. There's a point of pain at which a person's not really a person anymore. But you know that.
And there is a long moment where there is no response. And then Dr. Thurston says, experiment ended, and reality fractures around you. We're going to jump over to Weston. How's it going, Weston? How are you doing? Standing in the boardroom, having a nice friendly face wave at you.
So I'm making sure that there's no one else in this boardroom with me. Okay. All right. So, looking at the doctor, I'm assuming it's the doctor. And I know I'm talking to myself here because he's far away. I'm sure he can't hear me. I don't know what fucking game you're playing, but I'm not interested. I'm gonna try and find and make my way out. Cause fuck that guy. Fuck that guy.
And so with that, Weston, you walk out of the boardroom,
Mhm.
and you walk right into what looks like an operating theater. There is a body on the table. And I have to ask, Weston, what does a body look like after it has been subjected to blunt force trauma to the back of the head?
Well, that depends. Is he lying on his back or on his stomach?
On his stomach.
Strange procedure. Yeah, strange procedures in this operating room, I guess.
I mean, how else
Well,
would you repair the damage?
well, this one clearly isn't mine because there was no trace of the body. But if we were to go on a hypothetical here, I would say that the skull was cracked open. It would probably look like a grapefruit or a watermelon, perhaps. I will admit the assailant was perhaps a little overeager, a little too emphatic on their hits, and might have made sure that the job was done. One might say overkill, I say a short deal. There's not much left of the hair in the back. It's hard to tell if his hair is red or if that's just the blood. head wounds tend to bleed a lot. But if it's any consolation, the rest of his body is intact. Well, this version of it is.
Yes, one does have to be quite methodical when disposing of a body.
I've heard lie in a bathtub can be very useful, quite effective.
Preston, you see this body, you see the doctor standing over him, seemingly trying to repair a wound that would not be able to be repaired. This is almost like someone choosing to piece back together a porcelain doll because there is no life left in this body. You hear a child crying.
I'm gonna follow it.
Where do you think we find Russell? Where would he hide?
As children often do, they find the small places. Low, tucked away, dark with enough light, just enough light to see, but with enough shadow to keep you hidden. Because if you can't see the monsters, they can't see you.
And it does take you a bit to follow the sound, moving out of the operating theater, now more into what you are used to in the office. And you find Russell tucked underneath a desk in an office. How do you approach him?
Weston will move around the desk. His footsteps are not quiet because he's not trying to startle the boy. And he's going to knock on the desk. Hey, it was Russell, right?
And Russell very hesitantly, very tentatively peeks his head out to look at you.
Weston is smiling, gently, not overly forced, though for him most smiles are. He's going to kneel down. Hey, I'm Weston. I know that things are scary right now, but we're going to get through this, okay? Doctor's not very nice, is he?
Russell just stares at you, and he looks at you with sadness and regret and horror.
What? Why are you looking like that?
You look down at your hands, Weston, and you are holding the meat tenderizer. And your hands are covered with blood. The meat tenderizer is covered in things we don't need to name. And that isn't right. I mean, you would not have allowed any of this material to dare touch your hands, first of all. But he is clearly seeing this death on you.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to be honest with you, Russell. I'm a monster. But I'm not your monster. Come with me, and we can deal with your monster together. What do you say?
And Russell shakes his head and says, I don't understand how we became what we were once afraid of.
The world has a way of changing you. And if you'll allow, I think Raven will chime in. Yeah, things started with you. And the ball just rolled downhill. None of us really had the power to stop it. We're just stuck in a cycle. No, maybe this time will be different, but oh no, not really loving our odds.
And Russell starts to cry and says, I don't understand. I didn't do anything wrong.
That's the thing, Russell. Sometimes you don't have to. They say if you be good, you mind your manners, say yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. If you study hard, if you do everything right, then everything will work out for you. But what they don't say is that sometimes you can do all those things and the bad things still happen. So you have to be strong enough to crawl out from the bad stuff and make the good stuff for yourself, which is how you get to me.
Why do you have to become a monster for good things to happen?
Because if you're not the monster, you're the one the monsters hunt.
And Russell, who is still crying, considers that for a moment and then reaches out to take Weston's bloodstained hand. And reality fractures around the two of you.
Done fucked myself up.
You inflicted your own psychic damage right there.
It's
Damn.
true.
Mm-hmm.
And it is once again a disorienting and kaleidoscopic blur. But when reality reforms, you are back in the lobby of the hotel. Dr. Andrew Thurston in Sophie's body is standing in front of you. And I am curious to set the scene for when we next meet. Who is standing in front of Dr. Thurston?
I mean,
We know, so to clarify, who is in the body of each of you?
I mean.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, no, I got that. Yeah, for sure. I've got mine. It's Weston. But I think he's probably more in sync than he has been this whole time.
Oh.
The child embraced the villain, so
Oh.
I don't really know how like how much more in sync we can get, really.
I think that is very fair, and I agree wholeheartedly with that.
I think Rachel is driving. I think the dragon. I think the dragon is gonna be a significant percentage of the force behind the fist that's about to come at Sophie's face.
Let's go.
Knock him out.
Incredible.
Because I think the first move is just cold cock on the floor, like, you know.
When we come into reality, do I still have the meat tenderizer?
You do not.
Oh,
That's for the best.
I
Got
you
that fucked
do
up
have
rosary.
the rosary.
Nasty.
gross.
It's not the first time he's pulled something out of, well, dreams.
keep
This
doing
was
that.
not a dream.
You keep
It's a little skill.
doing that.
Skill.
Terrifying.
Just a little normal guy.
Very normal. Very normal.
Just a
guy.
regular
So
little
normal.
guy.
Everyone is.
Hasn't killed anyone.
No,
Okay,
you haven't.
but hold on. Is Kai at the helm?
He's not letting that bitch drive.
I'm just checking.
She can sit her ass down in the trunk for all he cares and not come out of it. Like, he's staying put until I take that last point of psychic damage. I got 1 point. He is gripping tight.
I should really check how much damage have I had. I haven't had that much. Okay.
Yeah,
I've been
Kai,
taking-
I think, has had the most.
Kai's been taking the L's with the psychic damage department.
Yep.
Yeah.
Might be the first one to hit 7.
Oh, for sure.
Then someone
And
new gets to
so-
come out.
Yes, we are quickly adding to the collection in a way I did not expect.
Sophie needs to catch up.
Sophie does need to catch up, and what I'm going to say as we bring this part of the story and this moment to a close. Reality has reformed. The three of you stand there in front of Dr. Thurston. Rachel and the dragon are ready to but reality shifts again. And you swing, you know it is completely on target. You are about to ruin Sophie's day and
Career.
Dr. Thurston's day. But he's no longer standing there. He's just a little bit to the left. And if you go to strike him again, the same thing happens. And he looks at the three of you. Well, more than 3, but who's counting at this point? And just says, new experiment begun. And that.
How many fingers, Doc? How many fucking fingers? You knew. What? Superpowers not. Well, I guess Kai kind of has a weird one, but.
Yeah, you've been pulling shit out of other realities. What do you mean?
Okay, well, can we hook the rest of the team up?
I can make this man question his whole shit at any moment.
It's
true.
true. It's true.
Yeah, I would like to have a new experiment. How many hands can this man catch?
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, 2 for 1 special.
Mm-hmm.
We will not run out of hands.
The buffet. Let's go.
I don't think there's a single entity within this system that would be against that.
I think that is fair, and we're going to find out the answer to that question in 2 weeks. So we had a time tonight. I think it was a good one. I think it was a normal one.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right. Listen,
sure,
I
yeah,
think
okay.
we need to remove that word from our lexicon. No.
It's lost its meaning.
No
I
one
think it's
knows
fine.
what that word means. Listen, you take your bomb-ass ass on somewhere. I participated in the things that were not normal. So let's maybe don't. You know what I mean? Let's not.
They were so fine. It's so fine.
That
Ooh.
car
It's
through the
fine.
stained glass. I'm
Ooh,
still fucked
so
up
good.
by that. That was
They
cinematic.
had,
Sick as
they had my
shit.
boy on his stomach. They had the corpse on his stomach going, I can fix it. No, you can't, ho.
He's busted.
I'm opening that shit up like a watermelon. What are you talking about?
Fucking,
And
I don't
so-
believe in the devil. Just the mouth moving along.
Oh.
Nope.
Fuck that
that was
shit.
so fine. That was so
Nope.
fine.
Skin
Rachel?
comment? Skin comment? Fuck
No.
off.
Rachel is completely like, oh yeah, you want to talk spooky shit? I will talk spooky shit with you all day. Spooky shit, a-okay with that shit. No.
Don't put it in
No,
front of
you
me.
can be as psycho as you want in my head because I have dealt with enough psychos. I'm not dealing with that. That's some supernatural shit and I do not know.
It's like,
I want the
why
real,
make that your
the
problem when it can be
real,
someone else's?
yeah.
Too much. Don't believe in the devil, but too much from Appalachia to not that's some hate.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not okay with that.
Ooh. We need to go to the Blue Jay. I'm sure it's painted blue enough. I'm sure it's got the right blue. It's got to be. If not, we'll change it. We'll fix it.
We'll
Mix it up.
We can get Hank blue. So, all good.
All right, Cast, you are amazing with the horrors that you allowed me to guide you through. How about we do one round of outros? Remind everyone who you are, why you're amazing, and where else they can find you. Starting with Steph.
Hi, I'm Steph. I was Kai. A little bit of Rebecca. She's still having a problem with acceptance. Story of her life. You can catch me tomorrow night in a season of Secrets and Shadows, and we're going to see how opening a portal to hell goes. It's going to be fine. I'm just trying to help my boyfriend. It's fine. And then I'll also be back Monday with a special episode, Season of Secrets and Shadows, where we do some inter-table mixing. And it'll be just a bunch of hand-holding. So many hands to hold each other.
And very normal and fine, correct?
So normal. Like, Carmen will have no complaints.
That's what it means. It's not what those words mean. Okay, we are fine.
And speaking of that, Q, you're up next.
Fantastic. Good. So that I'm big, so that everybody can see when I say normal and fine are not words that we need to be applying to any of the shit that's been happening in these here games. Anyway, hi, I'm Q. Big, black, and gay. What up? You can find me on most social media platforms at Midnight Inc. That's Midnight_INQ. Q is my name. I'm sure you get it. I got stuff and also things happening. Not going to be doing class reunion because not this coming week, because I'll be in Tennessee for Thanksgiving. Turkey Day, not Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving is, the colonist bullshit. We're not about that life. Gang, gang. There are other things. If you are a con-faring individual, I'm going to be going to PAX U this year. I got my ticket and everything. So come check me out there. I'll be around. I'm 6'4" and big as hell, so you can find me. It's not going to be hard. Other than that, that's it, I think. Podcast is on a hiatus while we work on health things. That's fine.
That's fair. And last but not least, Della.
Hi, I'm Della. I am on social media if you can find me. I challenge you.
That sounded like a threat.
It was.
It wasn't not. If you want to see more of the things I do, you can show up here every Thursday. I am in both Redacted and in the every other Thursday game, which is Never Ember's Enigma, where I am playing B, a gnome who's just a little guy. And
Hell yeah.
she's my first just a little guy character in quite some time. And it's very fun, and that's pretty much what I do. So
That is fair. And I am not going to subject you to the laundry list of things that I am doing, because we all know I do too many things. If you want to know where I'm at and what I'm doing on any given day, check out socials. JD, not Jason Dean, on basically everything. You can find me back here tomorrow, where I will be running a season of Secrets and Shadows, and normal things will happen. We will go to hell. It'll be a chill time, maybe quite literally, because hell can be cold. Yeah, and then you can also find me with Exquisite Corpse Presents this Saturday for Sister Cities, our usually non-magical D&D game that is going to be magical because we've gone into a fantasy world. I do a lot of other things on this channel, so yeah, if you check things out here, you will find me here most nights and most weeks. But I think with that, it is late. I know we have all had a busy week. So I think we are going to go raid Guild Superior.
Yay.
So hang around,
Yay.
come along for that, say hello, be friendly. In the meantime, if you're not following us on socials, follow us on socials. Most of them are all there. Join our Discord. Things are happening. We are gearing up for our winter holiday event. I think that is all I have to plug for now. So with that, say goodnight, cast.
Good night, Kat.
Good night, Cass.
Good night.